Hello everybody, my name is Petr Koutny and welcome in another YouTube chess training video, and today I will speak about Scotch opening for white, and we are in the main position where black is playing knight to f6. Of course we can speak about bishop to c5 in the next chapter, but now knight to f6 and white is playing knight to c3, and in this position we can speak about four options or four variations. The first one is a really bad move bishop to e7, but I will show you. Then is a really bad move d5, and because we know what's bad, we will understand what's good. Not a good idea is to take on d4, and for these reasons the best answer is bishop to c5, and I will show step by step why I am thinking that bishop to e7 is really not a good move, because we can take on c6, and now we are playing e5, and black has a really big troubles how to play with this knight, because to g4, h5 and d5 is really bad. So he has to go to g8, but you can understand with me, and I hope you will agree with me, that this is a really bad position for black. It's difficult to play because black lost so many times. So we know that bishop to e7 is bad. We can check if d5 is interesting or no, and I will tell you no, because we are playing bishop to b5. Of course it's double threat on c6, so you can play black should take on e4, but I don't believe black will do more than once because it's lost now. For this reason black need to go bishop to d7 but then white will take on d5, d7 and d4, and this is extra material for white. So another option or another variation which is really bad for black, and we are going for the main variation. Or okay, I will speak about knight to take d4, but white's development has been accelerated and the queen is actually quite well placed on this equation. So black should probably accept this disadvantage and develop quietly with d6, bishop to e7 and short castle, but it's worth pointing out another common error with c5. Black apparently gains time by attacking white's queen, but the positive of c5, gaining a tempo and controlling d4, are by far outweighed by the negatives, weakening d5 and d6 squares and creating back for d7 pawn. So maybe we can speak about black is going to e3, and some moves we can check, and in this variation white has a really big advantage. So don't worry too much about this variation, because I don't believe that nobody will take on d4 for this reason, and the best move is bishop to c5. And we can check why is not so really great knight to f5, and after a short castle, bishop to g5, f5 knight is really not safe, and for this reason black will play d5, and in this position really it's not advantage for black. And looks like black should be okay because it's too many threats, and still white king is in the center. So I will tell you that after bishop to g5, best answer is bishop to e3, and once again black should play d6, black should take on d4, black should go to b4, and the best answer is bishop to b6. So we can go and check this variation. Yes, we are here. After d6, this is a mistake because white will take on c6, on c5, and sadly black pawn structure is a really lost pawn structure for black. So don't worry about d6, and you can remember that this move is a really losing move. So what else if not d6? Black should take on d4, but we will take on d4, and you know white is the boss of the center. White has advantage in time and development, and I believe that this is advantage for white. You can play simple looking moves, and this is a typical edge with Scotch structure. Yes, you have advantage in center, you have advantage in space, and it's really good game for white. So for this reason, after bishop to e3, maybe black should go bishop to b4, but it doesn't make sense when black is going bishop to c5 and then once again to b4. Looks like black is losing time, and we can take on c6 and bishop to d3, and it's look like white is okay with small advantage, say f3, because we don't want to see knight to g4. For this reason, white will play f3 and maybe d5, take, small castle. Looks like black should be okay, but I still prefer white. So we are moving for the main variation, and main variations are after bishop, so bishop to e3, bishop to b6, white will take on c6, and black will take with b pawn. And now we are playing e5, and this is only one possible way how to claim advantage, because if we will take on b6, black will improve his pawn structure, and it doesn't look that white has advantage, because every times black will play d5 and black has rook in open file, so looks like black is okay. For this reason, white has to play e5, and probably black will take on e3. If black is going knight to g8, move to g4, looks like white is attacking on g7, and should be some good position for white. For this reason, I believe that black will take on e3, because it sounds like white will have worsened pawn structure, and we will take with f pawn. It's not good to take on f6, because this position once again doesn't promise a really big advantage for white, because black has two bishops and maybe advantage in center. He's a strong bishop on g7, strong rook on b8, and looks like black should be okay. For this reason, when black will take on e3, we will take with f pawn, and once again, if black is going knight to g8, we are going to g4, so better move is knight to d5, and we are going to take material. Yes, it's not forced to take material, and we should play to d4. Maybe we can stop the threat check on h4, and we can take this pawn later on, for example, long short castle. And but you know, we have probably more pawns, but it's a really hard question if this position will be not too dangerous. For this reason, we can take on d5 and take the pawn. Doesn't worry too much about check on h4, and of course we cannot play g3 because check on b4, and we are losing on b2 pawn, and this pawn structure is really bad for white. Everything here is about pawn structure. If you have good pawn structure, you have advantage. If you have bad pawn structure, you have disadvantage. That's a rule of the Scotch opening. For this reason, check on h4. You can remember move to d1, bishop to c4. Of course, you try to take on f7. So black will do short castle, and you are playing a really strong move to d4, because from d4 you are going to attack h7, you are going to save b2, and in the same time you are speaking with black if he will play this game with queens or no. So a really bad idea is to take on d4, because then you can win the game with bishop to b3. Of course, winning move is this one. So it's simple and it's good to know this threat. So the best answer is to g5, g3, d6, and here I believe that white has extra pawn and black doesn't have a really good compensation for this pawn. So what to speak about this variation? Interesting variation which could help you to play this opening really well, and we are going to check another variation in the Scotch opening. Yes, so we know the first basic moves, and I believe the best answer from the black point of view is bishop to b4. And yes, at the same move like in the first variation, white will take on c6, and it's two options: to take with b pawn or to take with d pawn. D pawn is weaker because white will take on d8 and is going to bishop to d2, and white has a really good pawn structure. So as I told you in the beginning of this video, that's about small edge because the better pawn structure. If you can think that you will exchange every minor or heavy piece and you will play only pawns ending, this pawn endings, it's winning for white. So your main plan here is to exchange everything and go to winning ending. So for this reason it's better move to take on c6 by b pawn. And yes, the best move is to go bishop to d3, because black will play d5 and we will take on d5. e4 is under attack, so we will take on d5, and we're going for a short castle. Check on b5 doesn't make a really big sense, because black should be okay, and it's a really big question if our queen on e2 is standing well. Maybe not. So for this reason is the best move short castle, and a really important move to remember is move number 9 is go to bishop to g5, and this is really only one white right for advantage. If black is castled, he will be really careful to play h6, maybe g5, because you can every time to take on f6. So that's one of the small advantages that white is playing this move to g5. Looks like c6 it's only one move what should be good in this position, because for example h6 we will take and take on d5, and for this reason is c6 a really important move. Of course, not good idea to take on b2, because black will lose on b4 bishop. So it looks like it's too difficult, but it's not too difficult, because nearly every times black will play c6. Maybe we can check if bishop to e6 is good or not, but I believe it's too passive, and for this reason black will play c6, and the main move is going to f3, because you can try to exchange on f6, and once more you can destroy black pawn structure. This is really the most important move, and black should play maybe to d6. I will tell you that bishop to g4 is a mistake, because we will take and you can check that white has more material and is winning. It's no difficulties. So we are going to check another lines in this defense. And what we know after d5, we spoke in previous line about bishop to g5, and now we should play knight to a4. I spoke in last game in queen to f3. Maybe more interesting is knight to a4. On a4 it controls the c5 square, which, as we saw in game, can be important point. White may continue with a2, a3 or c2, c3 and b4, b4 to obtain a grip on the dark squares on the queen side. Another positive for white is that the way is not clearer for c4, and h6 looks like normal move, and rook to e8 does make sense because it's rook going to open file c4, and we can undermine it black center, and if you have two bishops it's good to undermine it black center. Black should go bishop to d6 and we will take on d5, and now will be every time the same story. You have better pawn structure, d5 square or d5 pawn is early weakened, and now it's important to fight about or fight on c5 square. So rook to c1, maybe rook to c4, c5, and just now it's not really important to remember move by move. It's important to understand what's going on here, and here you have two options to play to f3 or knight to a4. I maybe prefer knight to a4 because you wish to play c4 and you wish to win a game, and about c5 square. So everything is going about c5, and then you can win this game. And I believe that if you will be head on c5 square, you will have a really good advantage. That's nearly everything what you need to know about this variation, and we are going to check another variation. d6 is a really solid, but it's not active. It's a really maybe bad move, and you can play standard looking moves. Now h3 is a good move because you wish to go bishop to e3, but you don't want to see knight to g4, knight to e5, or maybe you don't want to see bishop to g4. For this reason h3 is a good move, and black now should take on d4 or black should take on e4, but it's okay for white to play this game because you have a really good pawn structure. So doesn't worry too much this position. I believe this position after h3 is a really good position. Maybe black should play knight to e5, but still you have advantage in center, and this position is a really good position for white. I don't believe that you need to learn more variation. Okay, so what next we can check, and I will show one really interesting idea. When black will take on e4, it's maybe surprising move, but yes, you can play, or black should play like this with queen to e7, and it's very difficult to break this pin, which is f5, because for example move like this, you will take on d4 and f5, and it looks like black is okay. So good to remember that the best move is f3, and after d5 you are playing bishop to b5, take on c6, and you will try to have a really better pawn structure. And yes, I prefer this move, and this position looks like it's really strong for white, and you have good pawn structure, you have time advantage, you have activity, and black has so many weaknesses that I believe that this variation is fine. So we are at the end of the first variation, and in the next variation I will speak about variation when black is going to f3. It's a really interesting variation where you still wish to play with the better pawn structure, and I hope I will see you here in this video. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.